All right, welcome back. Today I will discuss about what is keeping me positive and motivated. What are the things that always keep me active and progress toward doing something. So that is what I will be discussing here. As usual, I am Bhanu, the dude behind Bhanu stuff. And yeah, let's start this topic. So the first thing, the biggest thing that always keeps me positive is my life sufferings and the negative experiences that I had encountered in my past. So actually, usually it appears that the negative incidents will impact negatively in our life, but that is not the real fact. Because of these negative incidences, we will realize more about us, and we will take our life seriously by making use of time. So the negatives and the life experience I had experienced in my past is actually helping me keep me positive and motivated and keep moving and trying out things. Fine, that's the first thing. And the second thing is based on my experience, I realized that if we are serious in what we are doing, let it be studies, let it be work, let it be even in relationship, if you are serious in that, that seriousness is actually going to help in positive motivation for the other parts of our life, like whether it would be related to our job, whether it would be related to personal career, whatever it is. So the seriousness that we tend to show to our work or studies are actually going to impact our other seriousness in life. It's going to make our life positive. So that's what I understood. So that's why I try to always keep me engaged and make use of my time properly, so that I will be serious on what I am doing. And this is actually giving me a kind of positive energy that is keeping me progress forward. So the seriousness, that is what try to find seriousness in your life too. Next, what after finishing a task, after completing a job, I don't wait idle. I just take up something else. Like I switch to the next work and keep moving instead of waiting for the results. Thing is, if we wait until the result, probably we will be losing that time, or probably if the result is not that favorable to us, we might end up not starting something. So this is what I usually practice. Like, for example, let me tell you a real life example. Back when I released my first book on a fiction novel, I didn't stop there. Within a month or so, I released another book which is on inspiration and motivation, and within another couple of months I released another book. So had the case, I had waited for the first book to get reviews and see how it performed, and only based on that, if I were supposed to write the other books, I would have been at loss, because as you see, my first book is not that hit. It's basically fiction, so it's not that reaching to people. But if you see, the other two books are doing great, right? So if I were to stop at the after I released my first book to see the results, and based on the results to proceed further, I would have been at loss. So that's what I've said. Take things. What after completing one job, always ask this question: what next? So this switching to work and keep progressing forward will be going to help you a lot in the future. Try this out. And apart from that, to keep yourself moving, taking things one after the other, you need to be workaholic. That's what I follow. I always believe I am workaholic, and so I tend to look for some work, whether it is a coursework, whether it is a job work, whether it is a personal hobby work, whatever it is. So I tend to look for works, and so that it will keep me moving. If there is no work, I create work. Really, this is practical. I do that. Even at job, if there are no kind of boring work or unrelated work, I tend to look out for opportunities, like I go look out for some new products or new designs or something. I give the proposals, and sometimes I end up making disclosures and all. So it kind of keeps me engaged, keeps me positive and motivated to do things, whether I am at job or whether I am at you know at coursework or whatever it is. So keep moving, be workaholic and make use of your time. And if no work, just create some work. Next, what? I have this habit of preparing or keeping the to-do list, right? So I know it's kind of boring, but still, to-do list helps a lot. In fact, I have a to-do list for every day, not just for the next works after, not for, just for the work-wise. Every day I keep this. Like for example, I have the list of what videos to prepare for today, how many videos to cover, like that. Sometimes I miss, it's okay, but at least I will try to maintain the to-do, so that I will be aware what I will be taking up next instead of waiting. Like for example, if after releasing one video of one YouTube video, if I wait for the results, it will be going to take too long, right? So it's not actually practical. So we need to keep moving. We need to take up things and move further forward, right? And this to-do list and all will help you. In fact, I have one more thing to show you, which is mind map. So I prepare mind maps also. I will show you one example here. So this is one example how I work. This is part of my upcoming book, which is on it is a fiction kind of thing, or to be more, it is a scientific fiction book. So I'm working on this. So this is a mind map. So making these kind of things always keeps us positive, in the sense like this will be interesting to us, right? Something like this in the to-do list and these mind maps and all. This will be interesting, and I will keep this pasted on the wall. And whenever I come back, okay, this is this. So I get into that story or the work that I wanted to do. So try this as habit and see if that works for you. I hope it works. Next, what? So in the next list, after you start something, don't wait till the last. Like start from the day one, right? So it is like we most of us have this habit of let's say if you are a student, we tend to wait till the exam date, and when exam comes, we hurriedly turn the pages of books and try to recall it. Most of the times, sometimes it works, but most of it won't work, and that negatively impact our thinking. So it's better if we start from day one. I practice this. Whenever I take some work, I started immediately and maintain a balance. It's not like work means 24/7 it's work. So I maintain some balance. I will tell you what it means. But the thing is, start from day one. Sometimes I end up doing something which is not of my passion or interest also, because I deliberately take them and try them just to make sure that that is worthy or not, that just to confirm whether that it is suitable to me or not. Because sometimes we feel something is our strength, but it turns out that we might also be good at something else. So it's okay to actually try some uninteresting passions, to add that in our to-do list also. A small part of a time in a week or month also you can spend, and just try to realize whether you are good at that. Even if situation demands you to do something which is of not interest to you, it's okay. Try to do it, complete it fast, so that you can speeden your approach to the next works, right? Getting me right? So that's thing. And regardless of whether it is a interesting job or not interesting job, I always feel it's just my duty to do, regardless of what it is. Because when I feel it's a duty to do, I will not wait for the results, or I will not expect the results to be either good or bad. So even if the result is bad, I feel it's okay. I am supposed to do this work. I have done, and I am happy. I am positive. So actually, that mentality, that change in perception is going to help you, sustain positiveness and motivation in works, because it is quite common to face failures at some part of our life, and if you take that into mind, we are going to stop, or we are going not to perform well in the next part of our life. So it's we should ensure that failures are part of our life, and so regardless of the results, whether it is even good or whether it is bad, we should not stop. We should feel that as duty and keep moving, right? And in that process, it's better to get prepared for worst case. I do that. What it mean? Worst case mean, like for example, if I'm giving some competitive exam for let's say an entrance to or admission to an institute. So I always think, what if I don't get this? What other thing I can try? So these alternative ways, this kind of having backup, right? Backup plans is actually going to help. The part B, plan B or backups or something. It's not that we are not confident about that. It's just that in case if we, if this is not happening, what we can do. So ultimately what happens if this is not going to work, so we will not end up feeling bad, because we have already pursued that, in the sense that we have already make our minds ready to face that, and we have some plan on that, backup plan, right? So it's always better to look out or aim for the worst case, apart from being confident, right? Next what? So all these things, all the stuff I have mentioned above requires us to be patient, because result or the success is not a overnight thing. We cannot become Bill Gates overnight, right? It takes time, a lot of time. Sometimes it might be fast, but most of the times we need time, and we need to wait for the right time to come. And if we are patient, we are going to be positive. That's what I wanted to say, right? Next what? And we need to have balance in life. Like I have said, we need to start work from day one, and that doesn't mean that we have to skip other things. So if you are starting from day one, so if you are maintaining balance, like say what I usually follow, I relax while working and I work while relaxing. I entertain while working and work while entertaining, both the things, right? So for me, New Year's, holidays, work day, weekday, weekends are all same, in the sense, I have both the things. In fact, I'm making this video on weekday only. I mean, during office, not during office, after office, right? So you can see, I maintain this balance between work, entertainment, relaxation, everything. So this is, keeping us balanced. So this is making us not feel like we are not full, in the sense we are not missing something. So we are doing everything. We are satisfying ourselves by doing some work. We are satisfying ourselves by being entertained in between, relaxing our mind, and we are having proper care for our body, like say taking proper sleep and all. So these are a part. So being balanced is very important. I am stressing this again. It's going to be really helpful to you. And apart from that, if you have a daily routine to follow, like I usually go for a walk every day. I spare time for my spiritual thing. I do some chanting. I do watch movies at least for half an hour every day to just refresh, not separately while eating or something like that. So I do spare. Sometimes I end up watching movies every day. So it's okay, based on the way you are working, based on the way how much time you are catering for your work. Based on that, you can spare some time for your hobbies. So that I usually give time for my hobbies, like whether it is photography. Once in a week I go out and do photography. It doesn't need that I have to go for go to Himalayas or Kashmir and all to find a place to do photography. We can do photography at our garden also, right? So things are around us only. We don't have to go search for things. It's around us. So I always feel that. So I always find some opportunity to photography. Just one thing. And apart from that, I try several other hobbies, exploring and all, during once in a week. And daily, I have some habits like I mentioned, chanting and all. So I do keep that routines. I follow them, and that is actually keeping me positive and motivated. Next, what? And no, I don't feel someone as my competition, or I don't compete with one another. I don't feel jealous of what people are, how fast they are progressing, how rich they are, how talented they are, because they have their own boundaries. I have my own boundaries. I have my own strength. They have their own strengths, and it's not fair to cross link between them and ours, because we need to know our limits, and we need to realize that the phase with which we are going might be different from others. So I usually don't feel jealous of people or their progress and all, and which is actually working in the sense it is keeping me positive, because seeing someone grow or become rich should not affect us, right? That's what. Okay. Next, what? And let's say I succeed in something. I don't party, right? Like if you see, I have so many success in life, small or big, whatever it is, but still it's a success, right? Getting into IIT, finding job, these are all success, what we say, right? Still I never party, because the very notion, intent, the very culture of party is like, if we party, we feel we have done something big, which might make us stop that time or prevent us from doing further. That's what I believe. So I don't really get excited of my success, nor I get bad of my failures. I keep them on the same. I feel them as my duty. Just doing is part of my duty. Results is going to be the next, based on my destiny or fate. That's how I feel. Fine. And I wanted to cover some of the hobbies, habitual practices, that I usually follow to keep me active. I will speed in this thing. So I spend some time alone. A part of my day will be catered for being alone, because this is the time when I appreciate myself, when I get time to think about what to do, or what crucial things to do, and what are the suggestions or things to take up, so and so, right? So I give some time for myself, and keep myself alone, so that I will make use of it and take crucial decisions and all, right? Sometimes, or most of the times, it's always better to move out of our comfort zone. I want to cover this in a specific separate video, but I will give a short snap here. So being out of comfort is like taking bath in cold water, sitting down, and moving and walking in hot sun. So actually these resistive type of walks are actually keep us ready for worst case scenarios, or keep our immune system more, not even physically, mentally also. So this keeps us take something which happens unexpectedly in our life. So these activities like moving out of comfort zone will really work. Trust me, it will really work, and it is going to make us positive and motivated, right? Apart from that, I try to be a friend to everyone. I try to be equal to with everyone, move freely with people, and make them happy, one thing. And apart from that, I try to help people who are in need, and whether it is a moral support, or whether it is physically help, like doing some support or something like that, even if it is work wise. Okay, so what are these things doing in my life? So doing something to others and making friends of others is actually helping me to feel happy of myself and making me more positive and active and keeping me motivated every time. That's what. So you can try this also. Apart from that, I keep writing things. I have written books on that. So writing things means when you write something, it indirectly makes you think on, okay, I am writing this means I should follow something like that. I am giving YouTube videos, pictures. So these are all actually trying to help me only. Though my intention is to help you, this will indirectly comes under or directly comes and helps me. So maybe you can try something like this, right? And I do, I one of the biggest thing which helped me a lot is short moral stories. Trust me, if you are seeing a person like me today, that's because of the moral stories that I used to read right from my childhood. It's never late, you can start now also, but trust me, moral stories that you find will bring a huge impact in your positive life, right? I usually read books like Chandamama. In Telugu, in Andhra, we have these books, Bujjai, Balamitra, so on, so small books. I mean, small in the sense, you small length books with short stories. Usually, there will not be moral, but it is obvious after reading those stories. So all these books, Akbar Birbal, Tenal Ramalinga, and all. So these books, if you go through, it's kind of change our thinking process and keep it ethical and moral more. By the way, I have released one book on short morals, which is really good. I have given, at least 20 to 30 morals at the end of every story. You just want to check that. If you find that useful by reading at least one story, you can continue reading it. Otherwise, you can skip. Just for your information. Next, what is my hobby that kept me positive? I observe people, in the sense, I go out. Sometimes I go for a ride and go to rural parts of India, where villagers, including women, children, and all, they work in farmlands, working on crops and all, in hot sun and all. So observing them actually makes us makes us feel happy of our life, and makes us to work more. It keeps us positive and keeps us motivated. If you are not able to reach to farmlands and all, you can just go out to that vegetable sellers and street people working at construction sites, right? Farmlands and all. So observing these people kind of help us to keep ourselves motivated and positive. Apart from that, the usual way of music, watching animated movies and all. I have mentioned this several times. I still mention this because music has really played a good role in keeping me positive and is helping me even now also. In a day, if you see, I spend most of the time with my headphones or all, listening to music while working and all. So it's great. And also movies. Sometimes I end up watching at least 4 or 5 movies in a week or something like that. It's okay, because some movies, sometimes the time that we are spending need not be for work. It could be to enhance our positive and motivation thing. It is required. So if you become positive and motivated, we can use the other time to speed in our works and all. So we can cover it up. That's what I believe. So I end up watching this kind of motivation videos or movies, especially some inspiring movies, especially animated movies and all. And lastly, I have this habit of listening to Vedic mantras, Indian Vedic mantras, spiritual mantras in the early morning. So the sounds of that, the way the Brahmins pronounce that, so in the morning, right after I get up from bed, so as I keep hearing this, my mind will be focused on that only. So and any negative thoughts because of the previous day will not come into my mind. So I have this habit of listening to Vedic mantras and songs of gods and all. Just my hobby. You can try. So that's what I wanted to cover. I have this lengthy list of habits, which is actually keeping me passionate and motivated. And I am sure some of this will help you as well. Do try it out. Make use of your time properly, and make sure that you are positive and motivated as always. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.